Hi. I will be responding to some of the claims that have been made. First, I'd like to address the claim that adult stem cells can be used instead of embryonic stem cells. Once again, this is not true. The National Institute of Health, their information page on what makes stem cells unique, it states that adult stem cells are typically generate only cell types of the tissues in which they reside. For example, blood-forming adult stem cells and bone marrow normally only give rise to types of blood cells. The University of Michigan, on their stem cell research page, confirms this, saying that they have the ability to make just one or two types of tissue, such as blood in the immune system, for blood cells, and brain or muscle cells for certain other types. Adult stem cells are also difficult to obtain. Noah made this point earlier, and it was misinterpreted. We did not mean to say that they are more, that embryonic stem cells are more plentiful than adult stem cells, but rather that adult stem cells are more difficult to obtain. The adult stem cells are also not as durable as embryonic stem cells. The University of Michigan once again states that adult stem cells have more limited capacity to replace themselves than the embryonic stem cells, so they have to be harvested more often, and because they're more difficult to obtain and process, this means that they would not be able to be created in enough numbers to fully replace the sheer volume of embryonic stem cells that are now available through IVF clinics. On the other hand, embryonic stem cells are easily obtained and can form any type of cell. The National Institute of Health also supports this by saying that one major difference between adult and embryonic stem cells is their different abilities, in the number and type of differentiated cell types they can become. Embryonic stem cells can become all types of the body because they are pluripotent. They did mention that you can induce adult stem cells to become pluripotent. These are called induced pluripotent stem cells. Unfortunately, these have some issues and cannot be used in treatment. They mentioned that embryonic stem cells are prone to tumors in the body, and this is true because tumors are essentially masses of undifferentiated cell types, which is essentially what stem cells are. They just form without a specific tissue type, and that's what a tumor is. These induced pluripotent stem cells, the way that they become pluripotent is that they have a virus that has genes in it, and they insert the genes into the stem cells using this virus. And because these genes have to be overexpressed in order to make this cell pluripotent again, they're even more prone to causing tumors in the body. So the argument that embryonic stem cells are not good for treatment is an argument against their own argument that induced pluripotent stem cells can be a viable replacement for embryonic stem cells. As some evidence, the National Institute of Health, the University of Michigan says that while IPS induced pluripotent stem cells are an exciting discovery, these cells could never be used in patients because the viruses used to reprogram predisposes the cell to cancer. As a result, these cells cannot replace the use of embryonic stem cells. They also say, for their argument that umbilical cord stem cells can be used to replace embryonic stem cells because umbilical cord stem cells are readily available and they're located in the umbilical cord, which is normally disposed of as medical waste. Unfortunately, they made the claim that these cells in the umbilical cord are pluripotent, and this is not true. The University of Michigan once again states that amniotic fluid and umbilical cord blood contains adult stem cells. They hold premise for therapy but do not have properties or potential of embryonic stem cells. This is because while they are stem cells, they are adult stem cells, and so fall victim to all of the same limitations as adult stem cells, meaning that they can only form certain types of tissues, and they can't be pluripotent and they're not as durable. Umbilical cord also poses some other problems. On cord blood banking at cordblood.org, cord blood stem cell treatment is still considered experimental, and scientists continue to do research in its uses in treatment and other diseases like cerebral palsy and stroke. So it's still not a advanced, and so cannot be used to replace embryonic stem cells. Also, there's a danger with embryonic stem cells because they are surrounded by blood. This blood can cause problems. Once again, from cordblood.org, if a processing method used results in high percentage of red blood cells remaining in the final cord blood stem cell unit, complications could arise if the cord blood cells are used for a relative with a different blood type. Let's see. So the other way that they mentioned was a case where they have the hematopoietic stem cells, which is the blood cells. They said it could be differentiated to be pluripotent. This was done through induced pluripotency. Another type is transdifferentiation, which they mentioned, not by that name, but where a adult stem cell can be induced to become a tissue, much like that which it doesn't reside in. And this, unfortunately, has not been well established in humans. It's mostly in salamanders and jellyfish. A lot of the confirming experiments that were done on this, they were prone to mistakes because the markers that they had showed that these cells were diffusing throughout the body. They were subject to migration throughout the body, thus making them think that they were becoming other stem cells, because the way they were injected was they irradiated the subjects, and then they causing subjects to go under massive repairs, which allows stem cells to proliferate throughout the body, so they could be easily moved. And this was shown by theory of transdifferentiation on transdifferentiation.com. A few other things that they mentioned were they tried to explain that embryonic stem cells were not good for treatment because of Dolly. This is completely wrong, because Dolly showed old because she was created by old cells that had the ends of its chromosomes too shortened, so by the time that she was actually born, she had the shortened chromosomes of basically already a 6-year-old sheep, which has nothing to do with stem cells.